Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy GZTV back with another video. Little mic check real quick. We're here to talk about the new collab album between KAYTRAMINE and Amine and the new group they have formed, and that group has a self-titled album out, KAYTRAMINE. A pretty exciting release, honestly, you know. It's been a little bit since I've heard music from Amine, and KAYTRAMINE is a guy I've definitely heard of, but I wasn't like a huge fan. I haven't really heard his stuff all that well. I can't say I'm like not a huge fan because, yeah, this is the first album I've listened to, and safe to say he's doing great at the production. I mean, I'm gonna say it. He's probably one of the best producers I've heard all year. I mean, these beats are fantastic. I'm gonna try to do this in one take. I know that, I mean, there's really no difference between streaming and doing this in one take, but here we go. Here you have it. So, getting into the album, starting off with this song, I'm not going to go song by song necessarily, but I mean, Who He Is a very smooth song. Amine's flow on this song and throughout the project was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, this sounds like something Pharrell would make, like, literally. Like, this album sounds like it was made by Pharrell, almost. Maybe I'm reaching with that a little bit. Let me know in the comments. And he's actually on the album, which is really cool. He co-produced. He had some vocals on it. There's a very interesting beat on the song he's on. That was a single that came with the album. That was track number 3, Forever. I don't think I listened to it when it first came out just because I wanted to wait until this album came out in its entirety to check it out. The chopped vocals are very addicting on that track, and not just that track. Again, like the entire album. The entire album is consistent on a lot of fronts. So, yeah, there's a lot of cool sampling throughout the album. KAYTRAMINE definitely knows his stuff. He's definitely a music head. You get that early. Sounded like the first track sampled possibly some NWA. I couldn't tell you. Freddie Gibbs and Amine coming together on a track and collabing was something I never thought I'd see. I mean, obviously KAYTRAMINE is producing, but Amine and Freddie rapping together, I mean, the chemistry is great. This album had me dancing around the house, bopping my head. I mean, this album was really groovy. I really, really liked it. Freddie's flow is like perfect for this beat, and I didn't really expect that when he first like entered the track and he just started going. I was like, wow, man, this was like extremely unexpected. So shout out to Freddie Gibbs for his input on this album. This might be the next iconic producer-rapper duo. I can't even lie to you. And on West Side, they had that Bollywood sample. And we talk about, iconic producer-rapper duos, and we've seen Freddie Gibbs, speaking of, working with Madlib, working with Alchemist. We had Larry June and the Alchemist drop an album this year as well. All sorts of really cool producer-rapper collabs. And so far this year, this is definitely my favorite. I mean, you could give a shout out to Benny X working with Yeet, but that wasn't like official, like collaborative tape. They just had collabs together. There's kind of an unnecessary moan. I think it's on West Side, but I mean, still just great beats. I mean, fire songs throughout this. Amine kills it on the rapping. KAYTRAMINE kills it on the production. That's really all you need out of a producer-rapper album, and we've seen it with like Mad Villainy, and we've seen it on obviously like Alfredo. We've seen it on Bandana. All sorts of different producer rapper collabs, and like in a way, Pusha T was working with Pharrell and Kanye on his last album, so that was kind of a thing. The background violins on West Side are just absolutely amazing. The beat just gets elevated by that. KAYTRAMINE is a hell of a producer. Now, like, this is my introduction to him, and maybe I should go back and listen to his catalog because dude, this guy's he's a beast. He's such a good producer. Not a bad beat, not a bad song on this project. I'm not going to give it like a number rating, but geez, man, you guys have got to listen to this. Big Sean was on this album, and that was really interesting to see him on a song's first time in a minute. Production-wise, top 3 this year for sure. This is up there with Yachty's album. This is up there with Yeat's album. Might be better than both of those albums. Like, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out by the end of the year. I mean, these vocal cuts are just so genius, and KAYTRAMINE just throws them in there so effortlessly, and it's great. Like sometimes when Amine's like on the track, and it's just Amine and KAYTRAMINE, you listen, and you're like, wow, this is Amine rapping right here. Because remember, KAYTRAMINE's not an artist; he's a producer, right? You know, he might come in every now and then and make a quick cameo, but this is Amine, like on a lot of these songs. Obviously, you know, we have a couple. I think Amare was a female vocalist, but other than that, the main vocalist was Amine, and it's really interesting. A lot of slappers on this album. A lot of these songs go hard. I mean, you get more than what you came for how concise this album is. For 11 tracks and 34 minutes, I mean, you get so much out of it. It's such a beefy album, so much to dive into. My favorite track is probably or whatever. I don't want to sound like I'm moaning. I don't want to make that sound weird, but the beat is so good. If you guys haven't listened to this album, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, they got Snoop on this album, and he was pretty nice. I love Snoop kind of working with the newer gen artist. Just head boppers, man. Like, plain and simple. Seeing Snoop and hearing Snoop on a synth-driven beat was crazy. I never thought I'd hear that. You know, and then one more thing I want to say. I mean, you think the song is over, but then all of a sudden the beat just switches, and it's crazy, man. This album is really good. I'd like to see the future for KAYTRAMINE. I think they have a really good future. Let's see what Apple Music has to say. So, Hip Hop Free Spirits, Amine, and KAYTRAMINE broke through around the same time, their respective mid-2010s album debuts having dropped within roughly a year of one another. So that's interesting. You know, they're kind of peers in the music industry. As such, few should be all that surprised to see their amalgamated KAYTRAMINE come to fruition. The sweet soul sensations and razor-sharp verbiage of some of the singles, you know, with Pharrell on there, accurately previewed their full-length scenic purview, a POV of a righteous escapade through the post-Neptunes, post-Timbaland lineage. Like I said, this is very Neptunes-like. I mean, Timbaland didn't really think of that, but hey. Hypersexual exploits, luxury smackdowns, and much more await listeners. You know, aggressively funky cuts. Formidable rapper guest Big Sean and Freddie Gibbs raise the pressure considerably, while Snoop Dogg himself brings his experience in similar sonic spaces. And yeah, this album's great. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I know this review's probably not as long as you guys would want it to be, but then again, the album is 11 tracks, 34 minutes long. It's a pretty concise album. So have a good rest of your day, guys. I'm out. I will post this shortly.